Hello, we are here to answer your questions. We gathered the questions that you asked us in the comments. Please feel free to ask more if you want, because we are always happy to answer your questions. Ready to start? Now, I would like to go further in the questions that are, let's say, uh, bringing the link between electroculture and Qi used in the way that you've been showing in the videos, the way that the Shaolin do, the way that we use when we want to magnetize someone, so for purpose of health, but also in Qigong, Tai Chi, and yoga. In all these exercises, we work very closely with Qi, with energy. So of course there is a direct link between electroculture and Qi and this topic that you see in our other videos. So let's go with a question that I find interesting because they're asking about this exactly. Jutta Jorgensen, you are showing something I only saw in films, but if the Qi can push someone away, is this Qi energy more powerful than the antennas? Can you make electroculture or the same effect without antennas and with a person in the same way? So this comment was in the video where there are three people. I'm one of them. I'm the last one, and you are using the technique of Qigong and Tai Chi to push the first one, and the Qi goes through the first two people and makes me, in this case, who was the last one, really fly to the floor in a very unexpected way. If you haven't seen it, watch the video because it is well, it speaks by itself. It was quite an amazing experience, I must say.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yes. Well, of course, we have been working for years now, martial arts, in Tai Chi, in Qigong, to learn to perceive and control the energy. And the Shaolin, they do these exercises for years in the temples to learn and to control the Qi. So it is something that is not just uh, it is not just invented like this on the internet because it's cool to speak about this. It is a technique, and there are techniques that have been trained and developed since many years. It is a science that it's quite hidden, but we can speak about that science because really once you have so many experiences that are proven and that can be repeated, then we have a proof, because a certain amount of experiences that can be repeated constitutes a proof. So that's why we can speak about science. It can be hidden as much as you want, but that doesn't mean that it is not true. Maybe it's not convenient, maybe it is not very popular for a lot of people, and for that I regret this, but nevertheless I would like to speak about this in the real terms, like the science of Qi.
As for the energy I use with the practice, like the exercise that you saw in this film where I push um, Mariam, for instance, of course, with the knowledge, with a lot of practice, it's working much better than antennas. The only problem is my agenda. That is to say that I don't feel like staying in the garden 24/7 for the complete summer. You'll excuse me, but I have other things. And that's the advantage of antennas. Antennas, they are tools that are doing the work, not as well as consciousness and Qigong and all of this, but they do the work all the time. That's all. I mean, I can go to water the garden with a watering can and make a huge effort, but nevertheless, we have a pond, a pump, and up we can plug all of this with a hose, and with the system we can water completely the garden. You can also do it with your watering can and you move, but if you do that all the time, it's less efficient at the end. It's true that with a watering can you can target more this or this. You can do a little bit. So same way, the energy, we call it electricity, electroculture. Electro is electricity, We can call it chi. We can call it prana. You have a lot of different words and a lot of different practice, but nevertheless, we're always talking about the same thing and the state of harmony, of peace, with an elevation of consciousness. What is an elevation of consciousness? It is a spiritual antenna that goes to fetch very high a chi, an energy, a prana that goes down into you to regenerate your system, to rebuild your health, and all of this. But it is true that we are less available than antennas. And in the past, or in Africa, maybe in some areas, you still have the people dancing for the garden that we do sometimes. We practice the panorhythmy from Peter Dunov. So we are going to do some exercises like this, that when you have a lot of people doing something very harmonious, it's attracting a big wave of energy. And the antennas, we didn't specify, but they are not always stable. If you have a storm in the morning with the humidity, you have much more electricity. So sometimes you have a big wave, sometimes it's cooler. It's normal, it's part of the life. It's not always stable. So the chi is concentrating with consciousness something. You do exactly the same in a weaker way with the antennas, but it's all the time. While myself, sometimes I sleep, I read, I play music, so I cannot be always in the garden. And you will need a lot of myself to be in every part of the. So it's including even more abilities after that,
We have to clone you.
something like this, ambiguity. So yeah, I think it's simple presentation, but it helps you to understand.
So with this answer, you have already answered to a couple of other questions, but I'm going to mention them anyway. One comes from a friend of ours, one min with low school. The nickname is a bit complicated, but this is our friend Lorenzo, and he says that it is very interesting what you do with the chi. I'm very surprised about the energy. I would like to understand more about it. Thank you. And then we have also an Arabic name, Al Sayed Al Sheikh. I used to see scenes like this in Chinese movies, but I never believed them. I used to say that these are representative scenes and not real until I saw them now. I would like to study that with you, which is a possibility. Would like to remind you that as well, because you can contact us. You are welcome to do so and to foresee the possibility to come and be a volunteer or a student in our place. So you can learn all of this and other techniques that we are using.
And if you take part in our activities, garden, and all of this, you have absolutely nothing to pay. And for the teaching, and for the food, and for the bedroom, for everything.
This is how many of us started, and afterwards got interested and took, like, let's say, their place in the in the world that are building here. The
We're,
little
we're also creating, sorry, some methods to teach by distance, at least some aspects, but we're still working on that. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy. It, it will be coming sooner or later. We'll let you know about this.
yes.
But now, for the present time, it's here to practice, to experiment, and the agriculture and the Tai Chi and all of this.